Once abductees realize something truly odd is happening, they begin to reach out to others for answers. Dr. David Jacobs, a leading U.S. abduction researcher, says they often try standard therapy, religion, or New Age groups without satisfaction.
When they come to me or another competent researcher and they learn what has been happening to them through their own memories, that's it. This is the end of the road. They know this is what it is.
In his home office in Philadelphia, Jacobs interviews and, if necessary, hypnotizes abductees to find answers.
The state of relaxation. I'm going to take you back to a dream that you had recently.
I wanted to know what was going on, and none of the other explanations worked anymore, and I was sort of ready.
It's as if the aliens are able to block your memory some way or other, perhaps akin to some sort of hypnotic procedure. We don't know how they do it, but that we have the same procedure to unlock the block and get the memory back.
I don't ever want to do hypnosis again, only because there was a flood of memories that came up after hypnosis. It just came on too fast and too quick.
There's a visceral, emotional sense to it when you're remembering some of this. So, some of it's painful, some of it's you're in awe. Some of it you're angry, all those normal emotions that you would go through, you feel that.
Your imagination can fill in greater horrors than necessarily happened. So in a certain sense, you gain control by knowing exactly what the danger level was and so on. So it's therapeutically, it's so helpful.
But oftentimes, abductees become targets because of the debate over the relevant use of hypnosis. Many people claim it's an unreliable source of retrieving information.
If it's tried and true in many respects, and it has been used to solve a number of crimes, then there's nothing the matter with it.
Jacobs says that serious researchers use checks and balances, such as posing misleading questions to make sure the information is not tainted.
If they say yes to the misleading questions that you know are wrong, you have to be extremely careful with whatever else they say.
If it's about an argument of whether this is happening or not, there's plenty of people who haven't had any hypnosis who can tell you point blank about what they saw, and I'm one of those people.
Whether or not abductees undergo hypnosis, most of them seek out others who have had similar experiences.
I decided to start a support group. It's a place where, people who've experienced similar things can come and discuss their experiences without being ridiculed and without being laughed at and things like that.
There was a lot of people who were lawyers or business owners or, pretty prominent in society who were at those meetings, who were having, abductions take place.
Validation is a great thing. It kind of says to you, you're not alone, and you're not making this up, and you're not crazy. And if you are, there's a lot of other people that are also living that same world with you.
They had stories that were like mine, but they had to keep it from their friends and their work. Basically, live a double life, sort of.
The stress of living in one world while dealing with the trauma of another often took its toll.
I had panic attacks, breakdowns. I tended to isolate myself.
I was in conflict with in a lot of areas of my life. There was a lot of stress. It was stressful on my family as well, not just me.
When these things start coming into your life and they affect you physically, they affect you on an emotional level, mental level, spiritual level, it hits every aspect of the human being. I've lost jobs because of the things I was going through. It was happening so often, so much at one time, that I couldn't function.
I was in tears a lot. And people had asked me what's going on, and I ended up telling them I lost somebody in my family. You know, I couldn't tell them what really happened.
Telling people about this can be a very disastrous situation. The consequences of it are almost never good.
Marriages break up. Families don't understand. Friends are lost. And jobs are put into jeopardy.
You're going to want to go tell everybody, and really you want to think about that for a while before you do that, because not everyone's going to be open and receptive to this.
I know I have not talked much with you. I know that I've not shared anything with you, but you want to know why? Because I guess in a way I was afraid.
Yet some people do decide to tell their families and friends, and even the public at large.
People were terrified to speak out about it. And that partly made my decision to speak out about it.
When I decided to go public with this was because for the first year and a half, I was so consumed with fear. I was almost totally paralyzed. And it started being difficult to carry out daily functions.
I realized this was going to change everything. Everything. And I had no idea how I underestimated that. Health-wise, financially, relationship-wise, all across the board, I've paid a price for it.
This is something that my son made when he was between 9 and 10 years old. At school, they had gotten some plaster, and they asked the children to make whatever they wanted to with this plaster. And this is what my son made in school. And that's when the teacher actually phoned me and said, you know, we need to talk.
From 7 a.m., try one of our delicious breakfasts.